Hello everyone. In this lesson, let's add styles to our text area. As we can observe, our text area is very similar to our inputs, so it would be good to reuse these styles. Let's go ahead and do that. So, first, let's deal with applying classes. And they should be exactly the same as in the input. So let's just copy all the logic here. Okay, good. We've got that. Textarea. Invalid with CSS, right? So, then the upper part is there, like this. Well, you can take it all. Up until where? Until up to input, but it will be a text area. Text area. Again, the props are exactly the same. We take them. Okay, good. And we also need CSS, import CSS from index.module.css. Good. And we also need class names. Import CSS from class names. Good. So what about our styles now? Also, create index.module.css. And here we do the following. We can import styles from our input into our CSS file, and they will be applied here. And this works great with CSS modules. And here we can override some styles we need specifically for the text area. That is, we also specify fill and say that we will have a slightly different style for the component with the input class. Okay, good. We just want to make sure it has a minimum height like this. So its width is 100% with no maximum width, and resize this little corner here now. And resize can only be vertical, so that it cannot be resized sideways. Okay, save. Let's see what they're complaining about. They argue for no reason. Okay, everything. They allow vertically, but not horizontally. So you can enter everything here. Validation check works the same way. Okay, so we applied styles for the text area. The only thing we also added in the last lesson is the ability to specify max fit, but we didn't use it at all. And here I mistakenly brought it into our text area because it turns out we said the text area will always be 100%, so it won't work well. But for input, let's go ahead and apply it, and as we wanted, let the description have this max fit. Here, we'll set 500. Let's see what we've got. So if we had such a page originally, it's still fully responsive, meaning our inputs adjust as the page width changes, which is what we needed. I want to talk a little about how to reuse code. So basically, I would outline 3 approaches. We've implemented the first one. We can simply import styles from the input component. And in this situation, it is the easiest thing to do, but it's not a very maintainable solution. However, I recommend you initially use the simplest solution, and when you notice it hinders you, just refactor your code and improve it. What other fundamental options do we have? You could go to our Styles folder into mixins and create a mixin for some input, and maybe that would even be good. There. But that's just an option. The choice is yours. And we could theoretically extract all this into some separate input. Not a separate input, but a separate component that also there's a label, an error message, and wrap it around. But you don't need to do it ahead of time because you'll have to constantly edit it. It's better to first create all the components. And even if you just copy the code, it's okay. Then you'll see that this pattern really repeats itself. You can extract it into a separate component. Code isn't perfect the first time. It's always good enough for the moment. Just make sure it stays that way. It should always be good enough. If needed, you can refactor it, make changes. Well, thank you. We can move on.